Narrator, calm, serious tone. The wind screamed over the empty land. It was cold, too cold for any life. Snow and ice covered everything. The sky was dark, and the ground was silent. In the middle of this frozen world, a small shelter stood. Broken, damaged, almost buried under snow. Inside the shelter, a mother held her daughter close. She was not human. Her skin was light gray. Her eyes were large and shining. Her body was thin, weak, and shaking. The child in her arms was small, maybe 5 or 6 years old. She had the same gray skin. She was not moving much. Her breathing was slow. The mother whispered in her own language, soft words. But there was no answer, only the sound of wind hitting the walls outside. Food was gone, water was frozen. The shelter's heater had stopped working 3 days ago, and now the temperature was dropping fast. The mother knew the truth. If she did nothing, her daughter would die tonight. She looked at her child's face. So peaceful, so quiet. Too quiet. Tears fell from the mother's eyes. They turned to ice before hitting the ground. She looked down at her clothes. She only had a thin jacket left. She had used her other clothes already, to wrap the child, to block the cold. Now, only one thing was left to do. Slowly, with shaking hands, she took off her jacket, then the shirt under it. Her hands were blue from the cold. Her body trembled. She wrapped the clothes around her daughter, carefully. Then she pulled the girl close, using her own body heat to keep her warm. The mother closed her eyes. Her lips moved. She was praying to the stars, to the old gods, to anyone who might listen, but deep inside she believed there was no one left. Her people were gone, killed in a war they did not start. This planet was supposed to be a place of safety, a new home, but something went wrong. The planet's weather had changed. The systems broke. No ships came, they were alone. Scene change, space above the planet, far above. In orbit, a human ship moved slowly. Inside the cockpit sat a man. He was alone. His name was Commander Alex Reed. He was scanning the surface of the planet, looking for signs of life, but he expected nothing. "This place is dead," he said to himself. Then something changed on the screen, a signal, weak, broken, but real. His eyes narrowed. He leaned closer. "Wait, what's this?" He tapped the screen. A small red dot blinked. It was a very old emergency signal. Alien code. He almost missed it. His ship AI spoke. "Commander, unidentified distress signal detected. Coordinates locked." Alex looked at the frozen world below. "No one's lived down there in years," he said. "Then who's sending a signal?" He paused. Then he stood. "Prepare dropship. I'm going down." Back to the shelter, the mother felt her body growing numb. She was so cold now. Her thoughts were slow, her fingers frozen. But her daughter was still warm. That was enough. She smiled weakly and held her tighter. She didn't care about anything else. Not the cold, not the pain, not even death. As long as her daughter lived, that was all that mattered. Outside, snow covered the shelter more and more. Soon, no one would know it was ever there. Scene change. Dropship entering atmosphere. The humans' dropship entered the sky. Winds pushed it hard. Icy clouds surrounded it, but the man did not stop. Inside, he checked his gear. Heat packs, medkits, translator device. He was ready for anything, but he did not know what he would find. "Whoever you are," he said softly, "hold on, I'm coming." Final scene, narrator voice, dramatic tone. The shelter was quiet. The wind howled. The mother didn't move. The child's small hand twitched. Far away, through the clouds, a light appeared in the sky. A ship. A stranger, a human. Opening scene. From the human's point of view, suspenseful and quiet. The air was sharp, the kind of cold that made metal groan. Snow fell like ash, slow, silent, endless. The human dropship landed with a low hum, its legs sinking deep into the ice. Inside, Commander Alex Reed put on his thermal suit. He checked his oxygen level. Everything outside was deadly. He stood at the open hatch, staring out at a white, frozen world. "Why would anyone stay behind here?" he whispered. His boots hit the snow with a heavy crunch. The cold bit through even the thick layers. His visor fogged. Visibility was low. He followed the weak signal. There were no trees, no animals, no color. Only broken metal, icy rocks, and silence, and then he saw something. Sin, first contact, half buried in snow. Hidden beneath a slope was a shelter, old, cracked. The emergency light blinked faintly. Red, dying. Alex moved fast. He cleared the snow and pulled the door open. Inside, it smelled like ice and metal. And fear. He stepped in slowly, and then he saw her, a woman, alien, barely alive, curled around a child. Her skin was pale gray, her hair frozen, her breathing shallow. The child was still, wrapped in layers of cloth. Oh no. Alex dropped to his knees. He pulled out his scanner. Life signs weak, but there, he didn't speak. Not yet. He just unzipped his gear and placed a heat pack against the child. Another near the woman's chest. He moved carefully, respectfully. He didn't know who they were, but they were still alive. That was enough. Seen the mother wakes. Hours later, the mother opened her eyes. Slowly, she gasped and tried to move, but her body failed her. A figure sat across the room. Not alien. Human. He was fixing a small heater, using pieces from his suit. When he noticed her, he turned. You're awake, he said. His voice was calm, soft, not threatening. The mother's eyes filled with fear. She reached for her child. She's okay, the man said quickly. Still weak, but stable. You kept her warm. You saved her. The mother didn't understand his words, but his tone, it was kind. She stared at him, confused, scared. He tapped a small device on his neck. The translator beeped. He spoke again, slower. Can you understand me now? The mother blinked. Then she nodded. Dialogue, first exchange. Name? The man asked, pointing to himself. Alex, human. He pointed to her. She hesitated. Her voice cracked. Sira? And her? He asked, nodding at the child. Lena, she said, her hand gently touching the child's face. There was a pause, a long one. Then Alex spoke again. Why are you here, Sira? Sira looked down. Her eyes filled with pain. She struggled to speak. The words were heavy. War, my people, gone. Only me, only Lena. Alex sat quietly. He didn't ask more. The pain in her voice was clear. He checked the scanner again. The storm outside was growing stronger. We need to move soon, he said. This shelter won't last. Sira didn't answer. Her hand found his, weak, cold, but thankful. Flashback scene, Alex's motivation. That night, as Sira and Lena slept, Alex sat alone by the heater. He looked at an old photo in his hand, a little girl with bright eyes, his daughter, gone now. He closed his eyes and whispered to the stars, let me save this one. Closing scene, suspense builds outside, wind screamed louder. Ice cracked. Beneath the surface, the world was dying, faster than expected. Inside, warmth had returned. But time was running out. Alex stood, watching the storm through a small window. He had come here on a supply scan. He had planned to be gone in hours. Now, he had 2 lives in his hands and maybe no way home, but he didn't care. I'll get you out, he said quietly. I swear. Opening scene, dream flashback sequence. It started with sunlight. Warm, golden, beautiful. Ira stood in a green valley, her daughter Lena running through glowing trees. Their planet was alive. Bright skies, colorful creatures, the sound of laughter. She smiled. She remembered everything, the way the flowers opened when Lena touched them, the songs the wind would sing, the way their home curved into the mountains. But then the sky turned black. Fire fell from the clouds. Sirens screamed. The ground cracked. Sira grabbed Lena and ran behind her. Ships exploded in the sky. Cities burned. Strangers with metal faces came from the smoke, killing, burning, destroying everything. They called them harvesters. No mercy, Sira whispered. In her sleep, seen, back to present, inside shelter, she woke up with a gasp, sweat on her forehead. Her hands clenched the blanket, but the shelter was cold again. The dream was gone, only reality remained. Gray walls, a flickering light, and the sound of the storm outside. Alex sat nearby, fixing a thermal unit. When he saw her wake, he nodded. Bad dream? He asked softly. Sira looked at Lena, still asleep beside her. She nodded slowly, Scene. Alex tries to understand. Alex walked over and sat down. He offered her water from a pouch. She took it, then he opened a small screen and showed a map of the stars. Where are you from? He asked. Syrah stared at the stars. Then, with a shaking finger, she pointed to a small blue circle. Kyra, my home, it was. She paused. Beautiful. Her eyes filled with tears. Now, gone. Alex didn't speak. He let her continue. War came, machines, fire, all destroyed. We ran. I had no ship, only escape pod. It crashed. Here? No others? He asked. Syrah looked down. No, all gone. I am the last. Scene, emotional pause. Alex stood and paced for a moment. So you're telling me, he said slowly, you and your daughter are the only ones left? Syrah nodded. Then I guess you're not just survivors, he said. You're living history. Scene, discovery about the planet. Alex checked his wrist scanner. He frowned. This planet, it's not stable, he muttered. Syrah looked up. What do you mean? Alex turned the screen toward her. A red graph pulsed fast, core temperature dropping. Storms will get worse. This place is dying. Syrah's lips parted, her voice broke. Then we will die too. Alex stood, straightened his jacket, and looked her in the eyes. Not if I can help it. Scene, planning escape. He tapped a few buttons and brought up a nearby location. There's an emergency beacon post. Old tech, but if I can reach it, I might call my ship, the big one. Orbit's too high for comes here. Syrah frowned. How far? 30 clicks. Too far to walk. But I've got a crawler in the dropship. Syrah touched Lena's forehead. She was still weak. She can't travel now. Alex paused. Then said something she didn't expect. Then I'll carry her. Scene, quiet moment between them. Later that night, they sat together. Near a small heat lamp. Alex shared a food bar. Syrah took a bite, then offered a piece to Lena. The child woke briefly, smiled at both of them, and whispered, warm. Syrah looked at Alex, surprised. She never spoke to others before. Alex smiled. Maybe she knows I'm one of the good guys. They both chuckled, tired, but not broken. Final scene, outside shelter, storm brewing. The wind outside screamed louder. Alex stood at the door, staring into the endless snow. He pulled out his old badge, worn, cracked, from a forgotten Earth Army. He kissed it, then slid it back into his pocket. Behind him, Syrah stood with Lena in her arms. We go tomorrow? She asked. Alex nodded. At first light. He looked at the sky, then at the alien woman and her child. We're not just surviving now, he said. We're escaping. Ending line, emotional plus suspense hook in a world of ice and silence. 3 lives were about to move, toward danger, toward hope, and toward something none of them expected. Opening scene, planet's mood, atmospheric. The planet groaned. Beneath the ice, something shifted, deep in the crust like a sleeping giant turning in its bed. Cracks formed silently beneath the snow. The wind screamed louder. The sky turned orange for just a moment. Then gray again. The storm was not just weather. It was a warning. Scene, inside the shelter, dawn. Alex zipped up his jacket and locked the final piece of the crawler pod in place. Syrah stood by the door, holding Lena tight. The child's cheeks were pale, but her eyes open. She was stronger than yesterday, but not strong enough to walk far. Alex looked at both of them and nodded. We leave now, before the storm swallows this place. He picked up Lena gently, wrapped in blankets and heat packs. She didn't protest. She simply looked at him, quiet, trusting. Syrah followed, her eyes scanning the sky. Something felt wrong. Scene, outside, journey begins. The crawler. A small, enclosed vehicle with 6 thick wheels rumbled over the snow. Inside. Silence. Syrah sat close to Lena, her hands never leaving her. Alex focused on the scanner, guiding them through rough terrain. The snow fell sideways now, pushed by strong winds, visibility near zero. The vehicle rocked with each bump, but it held strong. Just 20 kilometers to go, Alex said. If we keep pace, maybe 6 hours? No, answer came, just the sound of the wind and something else. A distant rumble. Seen, they are not alone. Far behind them, hidden in the storm, Something moved. Not machine. Not man, large, four-legged, it followed the scent of heat. Of life, its body blended into the ice. Eyes like frozen glass watched from a ridge. Then it vanished into the snow. Seen, trouble ahead, 2 hours later. The crawler stopped. The path ahead was gone, swallowed by a deep, black crevice. The ice had cracked open. Alex cursed under his breath. Planets breaking apart faster than I thought. Sierra leaned out the side window, eyes wide. Can we cross? Alex scanned. The gap was 5 meters wide. Only one way. He climbed out and began pulling metal panels from the back of the crawler. Sierra watched as he built a rough bridge, shaky but wide enough for the wheels. Is this safe? She asked. Nothing is safe anymore, he replied. But it's the only shot we've got. Seen. The crossing, slowly, the crawler moved forward. Wheels creaked. Ice cracked below. The metal groaned as the weight passed over. Sierra held her breath. So did Lena. Alex didn't blink. Then they made it across, but behind them the metal bridge snapped and fell into the darkness. No going back now. Seen. Nightfall approaches. By late afternoon, the sky turned almost black. Lightning flashed in the clouds, but the color was wrong. Blue fire. Alex had never seen anything like it. Storms mutating, he muttered. Not natural. Then the scanner beeped. Movement, large, fast, heading their way. That's not wind. Sierra leaned forward. What is it? Alex looked her in the eye. Something's hunting us. Seen. Attack suddenly. Crash. A massive shape slammed into the side of the crawler. It rolled once. Twice, metal screeching, snow flying. The vehicle came to a stop, tilted, broken, smoke rising. Sierra screamed. Lena cried out. Alex kicked open the emergency hatch and pulled them out. Then they saw it, a beast white as snow, 12 feet tall, like a wolf but with spiked limbs and no eyes. It moved by heat. It hunted silence. Alex raised his flare gun and fired. Boom, a burst of red light blinded the creature, just for a second. Run, Alex shouted. Seeing narrow escape, they ran through the snow. Wind howling around them. Sir held Lena. Alex grabbed a thermal pack and tossed it far away. The creature followed the heat trail. Roaring, they dove behind a ridge. Breathless, frozen, terrified. Then silence. It was gone. Seen. Shelter found. Alex spotted a metal structure buried in snow. The old beacon tower, still standing. They ran toward it. Forced the door open. Inside. Darkness, dust, but safe. Alex collapsed against a wall. Sierra sank beside him, holding Lena close. No one spoke. They had made it. Barely. Final scene. Alex looks at the beacon core. Alex opened the panel and stared at the broken power cell. Of course, he whispered. No power, not enough. Sierra looked up, heart sinking. What do we do now? Alex stared at his backpack, at the parts from his suit, at his tools. Then at them. We fix it, he said. Even if it costs me everything. Ending line. Suspense plus hope. The storm outside screamed like a monster. Inside, a human worked to light a signal, not just for rescue, but for hope. Opening scene. Inside the beacon tower, from Lena's perspective, she opened her eyes. Everything was dark. No wind, no sound. Just the soft hum of something broken, and the cold floor beneath her. Lena sat up slowly. Her mother, Sierra, was asleep, her arms still around her. The human Alex sat across the room, working with tools. The firelight flickered across his tired face. Lena looked toward the shadows in the corner. Something moved. She blinked. Nothing. Then she heard it, a scraping sound. Like claws on metal. Scene shift to Alex's pav. Alex froze. His hand stopped moving. He heard it too. Sir woke up instantly, her instincts sharp. What is that? She whispered. Alex didn't answer. He grabbed his light and shined it toward the hall. The sound stopped. He took a slow breath. Stay with Lena, he said quietly. I'll check it. Scene. Exploring the tower. The beacon tower was ancient. Metal corridors twisted like veins through ice. Alex walked alone, light in one hand, weapon in the other. Each step echoed. He passed control rooms filled with broken panels and frost-covered wires. He passed doors that no longer opened, then he saw it. A vent torn open from the inside. Old, but real. And scratch marks. Deep, wide, violent, flashback, a warning from the past. Alex remembered the ship's logs about this planet. Evac Team Alpha lost contact during tower repairs. No signs of conflict, just vanished. Final transmission. It's in the ice. Scene, return to Sarah and Lena. Alex rushed back. Something lived here, maybe still does. Sarah held Lena tighter. Is it the same beast? From before? Alex shook his head. No, that one hunted heat. This one is different. He checked his weapon. It didn't follow us? It was already inside. Scene, the hunt begins that night. The temperature dropped again. Ice cracked around the tower. Inside, something moved through the walls, fast. Silent. Alex set motion sensors at each door. Whatever it is, I want to know before it knows about us. But deep down, he feared. It already knew. Scene, sensor alarm. Beep, beep, beep. The alarm screamed. Door 3. Breach. Alex rushed out with his light and weapon. Sarah grabbed Lena and backed into a corner. Smoke filled the hallway. Lights flickered. Then it appeared. Scene. The frozen beast revealed. It crawled from the wall like liquid ice. Tall, thin, sharp bones. Skin like cracked glass. Its mouth did not open, but steam hissed from its neck. It saw them, and screamed, not with sound, but pressure. Like gravity had turned angry, Lena covered her ears. Sarah cried out in pain. Alex fired. The beast vanished. Blood. Just shards of ice falling where it stood. Scene, cat and mouse tension, for hours. They played a deadly game. Alex hunted it. It hunted them, in the dark halls, behind broken doors. In vents, on ceilings. In silence, they trapped it once, crushed part of its leg in a blast door. Still crawled, unstoppable, quiet, cold. Why won't it die? Sarah cried. Because it's not alive in the way we understand, Alex replied. It's not a predator. It's a weapon. Scene, final confrontation, cornered in the beacon room. Alex looked at the broken power core and the energy tool he'd brought. We don't kill it, he said. We burn it. Sarah looked confused. It lives in ice. We give it fire. Alex overloaded the core's heat regulator. The room began to glow. Red. Steam filled the air. The beast smashed through the door, body steaming, hissing. Alex stood his ground. Come on, you ugly snow demon. The core exploded with heat. The beast screamed. For real this time. It melted. Into shards. Into nothing. Scene, aftermath, quiet. Everything was still. Alex coughed, burned from the heat, but alive. Sarah held Lena close, tears in her eyes. It's over? She asked. Alex nodded slowly. Yeah, that one was. He didn't say it out loud. But he was sure there were more. Final scene, beacon reactivation.